So after my very quick Spider-Man review I did this morning, I thought it'd be fun to look at the whole set of the Justice Hero set that Ryan got me. First of all, I think it's really worth looking at the packaging here. So you've got, interestingly, it's a packet of Marvel heroes, which is unusual for these. You normally see a Batman thrown in there or a Superman, but this time it is all Marvel heroes. However, we do have two DC heroes here and here in the form of Superman and Batman, and I can see Iron Man has defected over to DC as well, much like Batista has, or is allegedly going to with James Gunn. So let's get into them and have a quick look. First of all, we've got Spider-Man, the one we looked at earlier with his little... Oh, and to address people as well, people said it looked like his penis was where the button press comes from. It isn't. It's actually the back here, that little nubule just above his perfectly formed butt cheeks. I've just noticed how much effort has gone into those despite no effort going into the back of his arms. And that turns on the LED, as you can see there. Next up is Iron Man, or some approximation of Iron Man. One thing I do like is they've actually added an amount of detail, which is the LED is in the reactor part of his chest, which is nice to see, although it is red. So I'm sure there's a version of Iron Man with a red LED somewhere. Much like Spider-Man, the back is totally not painted, and the back of his arms are completely hollow. I've just noticed though, there is a tiny, I don't know if you can see it on here, there is a tiny bit of gold paint that has found its way into the shoulder. So maybe someone was started to paint it. Although looking at the paint job on this one, I'm quite distressed to see that they've obviously put only one layer of overly watered down metallic paint on there, and you get that weird little broken up bit where it just goes straight onto the plastic with no undercoating. Does bother me slightly, and it's not really in the lines either. Yeah, that's Superman. Superman, Iron Man. Then we have the Hulk, the almost Incredible Hulk. Again, interestingly, his arms are quite a nice sculpt, unlike the rest of them. However, on the back, once again, hollow arms completely, and he has a nice little LED as well. His isn't as strong as the others. I think the battery must be wearing out. It's worth noting as well that on these, none of the legs move. This one's actually probably the best painted one. The face, although a little bemused, hello Ziggy, the face, although a little bemused, isn't too bad. Looks a little bit like Jeremy Clarkson there. Give me a steak or I'll punch you. Yeah, that's good. And then we have Thor. Now Thor's one of the more interesting ones, because they put a bit more detail into Thor. So his Thor, or almost Thor, I mean, he's wearing a completely black outfit, and his face, I mean, you know, I think he's seen some shit. Can I focus that? Yeah. Yeah, Thor's seen better days. And his skin only goes so far around his head. Well, on that side it's fine, but that side not so much. Also, I think it's worth noting that his hair is painted in the same gold paint as Iron Man, which is quite weird. He also has an LED. This one's not working though, but he does have a cape, which is stuck on with like a little perfectly round, perfect square of black. It's quite nice, and it even comes with a Mjolnir, a completely black Mjolnir, which also has the handle, which ends, and then the stitching of the handle continues up the whole handle, which is weird. And it does fit in his hand quite well, actually. So there you go. You'll be like, more for Asgard. Pretty good. And then Captain America is the last one. You got old Cap there. Again, this is probably the worst paint job. It's so bad on this guy. I mean, look at those cuffs on his hands. It's literally just the front. Again, you got the hollow hands on the back. The switch for the LED, which doesn't work. Oh, it did work. Kind of working. I'm not sure. But he does have the shield, which, interestingly, is probably the best painted thing in the kit. It's quite nice to see. And it just connects just onto his wrist, just there. And there is the first Avenger, avenging the first time round. Interestingly as well, the butt sculpts on all of them are different, which surprises me. Quite good. And it's also worth noting that the legs don't move, and they're really made out of this cheap plastic. Look at that. He actually came out of the box like this, Captain America. He was open like that. He was like a weird centaur Captain America. But yeah, so that's the set. Thank you very much, Ryan. I do like these. As I say, they may find their way onto the Christmas tree if I can get all the LEDs to work properly. Oh, it kind of worked then, kind of, sort of. I don't know. I'll open them up and take a look. But thank you very much, and cheers.